You get what you ask for, truly. Many times we want many things. Picture a kid who's in a toy store, and they go, "Ooh, I want that, I want that, I want that," whether it's for Christmas or their birthday or just because they're in the store. And if your goals are too wide, if you want too many different diverse things and you don't put the energy toward the focus, you're not going to yield the result that you want. I had a wonderful couple of interviews this past week, and one of them I definitely would love to work at, for sure. And I'll find out in a week or two if it comes through. And I long for that job. I truly have been putting in desirous energies and picture myself already working there with the wonderful people that I had to meet with. And the other one that I went to that was all the way in Washington, D.C., I traveled down, I had a wonderful time with them, some amazing people there. And I knew that there was a possibility that with this position, they would want someone with more experience in the particular job description that they had. But I went because I was open to what the universe had for me, and I truly enjoyed the journey there. And yesterday I got a call saying that they're interviewing someone that has a certification in a certain thing that they were looking for. And I said, well, I fully understand that they want to go that direction. But I'm always open, should they revisit me after meeting with people that have this certification, if they want to come back my way. And I truly am always open to what the universe wants for me. But I'm not going to be a kid in a candy store. So yesterday I sat and I did some meditation quietly by myself. Watched a few shows that made me laugh. And then I determined in my heart that when I woke up this morning, I was going to tackle some things that I knew I needed to get done. So that's why I didn't post this so early in the morning, because as soon as I rose, literally, went up, went to the bathroom real quick, washed my hands, came back and started tackling some things that I had to get done. Going through piles of old paperwork in my closet, boxes I have to get to. And, and then I'm going to go through the rest of the closet. And, with that, I'm going to have a pile that's going to Goodwill Industries, because that for sure is a charity I believe in, since I worked for them for 9.5 years. And I'll go to the Goodwill store later today with my donations, clothes and things like that. And then, secondly, I have a bag that's going to be purely trash, just things to get rid of. And then, of course, things that I will take with me to my new home, wherever that may be. And I'm totally shifting my focus to be laser-centered to what I truly want, and see it as already happening, and let nothing get in the way, not even myself. Ooh, that's a tough one to hear. And if you're listening to this and you're in the same situation, it's easy to sometimes be our own worst enemy by not having a very clear focus, writing out and writing clearly the goals you want, looking and meditating on them throughout your entire day, settling for nothing less. I think of a story of that Napoleon Hill shared in Think and Grow Rich, about this little girl whose mother is an African-American little girl, and this is way back, and the tone in which it was written and the language spoken by the girl, you'll have to forgive me, but it's literally coming from the book this way. And it was about a landowner in the South who was working in a mill, and a little African-American girl came up and said, "Mister, my mommy sent me over here for 50 cents. And he turned and looked at the child and said, "You go. I'm not giving you 50 cents. And she said, "Yes, sir." And still stood there. And he turned and started working again, realized the girl was still there. So, "What are you still doing here? I told you to go." He says, "Mister, my mammy told me to get 50 cents from you, and I'm not leaving until I get it." says, I'm going to beat you, and then you're not going to have your 50 cents. And he says, yes, sir. And just kept sitting there and standing there. And finally, the man came up and he was going to strike the little girl. And this person who was watching this was expecting the girl to get hit. And instead, his hand shook, and he gave the girl the 50 cents. And she said, and she looked at him in the eye and backed out of the room without turning her back to him. And didn't say thank you, but looked at him straight in the eye and backed up. And then that man just shook his head and realized that he had just been beaten by someone who would not give up, no matter what the cost, and what she needed. My mammy told me to get that 50 cents, and I'm not leaving until I get it. Definiteness of purpose and consistent effort is something that I personally, confession time, or in the confessional, have always lacked. I've always had a desire to help people. I've always had a desire to be willing to work with people and to work toward things that I knew were in my embryonic truth. But the consistency of effort is something that I always failed on. I always fell short. It's kind of like I was Thomas Edison, and after a few 100 elements, or maybe 100 elements, I said, that's it, I'll move on to something else. I'll get back to it later. If he had done that, we would all be sitting in the dark. So, we need to be truly laser focused on what we want and desirous of it. So today, I'm fulfilling all the things that I've been saying in these videos. I'm going to spend time doing them, putting them into practice. And I'll do a video tomorrow, but I also have things planned for tomorrow that are getting done consistently, without failure. So today is a day of a new start, a fresh beginning on a road that I long to be in. And as this year is starting to come to a close, I long for what is ahead, for the possibility, for the wondrous, joyous 220 pounds I'm going to be. And I am already. And I long for the day when my coaching practice is into fruition. I have some high aspirations for my life. And if the standard is I'll settle for less, then you will always get less. Because that's what you're truly believing. People always say, oh, well, I want this, but I'll settle for this, and if I get that, it's okay. Not true. So I'm setting my aspirations high. I hope you'll do the same, and I hope that you will be truly well. This is Ron Brown,